Life design is not only about structure and stability, it is also about making space for the parts of yourself that make you feel alive. There are moments when something simple reveals something deeper. Sometimes in the middle of an ordinary conversation, a woman begins to talk about something she has always wanted to do, and in that moment, something changes. Her energy shifts, her voice becomes lighter, and there is a sense of possibility. It is subtle, but it is there. And then, just as quickly, life returns. Responsibilities, schedules, and everything that needs to be done. The moment fades, but the spark itself does not disappear. It stays not as something urgent, but as something waiting. When you look more closely, it becomes clear that what is holding her back is usually not a lack of skill, intelligence, or even time in the way people think. What is often missing is something much quieter: permission. Not permission from others, but permission from within, because many women already know what lights them up, but there is a quiet belief that says, "I'll do it later," or "It's not important right now," or "I should focus on everything else first." What is missing is the moment where they realize that this matters too. Most of the time, she's surrounded by roles: mother, partner, professional, caretaker, and very rarely is she seen as someone with her own inner world, someone creative, someone with something to express. Over time, that part becomes quieter. It is not gone, just less visible. So when it appears even briefly, it feels different. Starting can feel difficult, not because it is hard, but because it feels big and undefined, like something that requires more time than she has. But in reality, what is needed is something much smaller, a safe place to begin. One idea written down, one page opened, one thought captured, not a finished result, just a beginning. This is not about motivation, because motivation comes and goes. What creates change is something more steady, a gentle rhythm, a quiet return, something that keeps her connected without pressure or demand, just a reminder. And underneath all of this, there's something deeper. This is not really about writing or creating or any specific activity. It is about remembering who she is outside of everything she carries. That is why her energy changes. That is why something lights up, because that part of her is still there. When we begin to notice these moments, something shifts. The gap between wanting and doing no longer feels like failure. It begins to look human. And instead of pushing or forcing, we begin to slow down and observe what is really there. Over time, that awareness allows us to understand more clearly and to gently return to what we once set aside. And sometimes that is where everything begins.